Steven, how you going?
I'm doing great. Hi, Court. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite fine, thank you. So what's the topic?
I don't know. I guess Trump stuff. I feel like Trump's kind of bungled things up pretty hardcore since he's been in office.
Here we go. I cede my time.
Yeah, just real quick. I don't know, Anne, I don't know why you're talking about me. I can't debate right now because I got pizzas opened. We're getting ready to eat dinner. So I don't know why you're unprovoked bringing my name up and trying to create this
Look, I don't think it's
insane
necessary.
mental image of Dean running from Destiny when I was just getting pizza and sitting down
You
to
don't
eat
think,
dinner.
okay, how do you think this works when, last time you and your, maybe 1,000 followers came into my live and then started complaining that I was running from you, because we were, the rest of my panel was uncomfortable having you up and just kind of wanted to move past everything. And I wanted to talk to you because you publicly aired some, grievance without actually being specific. But you had all of your followers in here telling me that I'm running. So
Why?
it's,
Wait,
it's not okay if I say, hey, this is actually kind of strange. You're okay with debating Nick Fuentes, but you're not okay with debating, Destiny, and you're calling me a runner, even though you haven't responded to my DMs. I know you get my DMs.
Do you think
you
I just have
responded to
this
my DMs.
Do you think I just have this bot net of mindless droids that follow whatever I say, and I just send out some command telling them to tell
Unironically, yes.
something?
Unironically, yes.
Okay. That's
Unironically,
it's
yes.
kind of
But you don't find
absurd.
okay. Look, Dean. I don't have any personal. I don't have any personal shit with you. But I think it is kind of strange that you went out there and you said oh well, I think you supporting Destiny or you supporting Z was kind of strange. And then I ask you, okay, what was strange? What was weird about it? You don't respond to me in that chat. You don't respond to my DMs. You call me a runner in my own live, and then won't come up and talk to me.
Wait, now you're
after
trying to
I say,
reframe
"Hey,
why I
actually-"
called you strange?
You call. I'm pretty sure I took a screenshot of it. You called me weird.
Yeah, wait, I called you weird specifically because you were just kind of brushing off Z, making this baseless accusation against me of using the inward hard R as if that isn't some type of thing that can be damaging to my name or reputation. That's why I called you weird.
We clarified that the time frame, the truth of the claim was the actual content of what you said was true, but it was further back than it actually went.
Wait, no, now you're even wrong now. The actual content of what I said was false.
You came, wait, it's not false.
Yes, it is. I've never used the N-word hard R, and that was
Oh
a
my
very
God,
specific
you use the
accusation that
N-word
she
with an
made.
A. My bad.
I do all the time.
My bad. You said the N-word with an A. That makes it so much better, Dean. That makes actually. I think we should probably factory farm Z for that, for mistakenly saying that you used it with an R without an A. Do you really think that that's important?
Well, obviously, it was important enough for her to point out, with excruciating detail, 4 times, and I think that truth is important.
Look, and
Do you deny that truth is important?
I think there's a pointing out of hypocrisy, not necessarily
look, you came up here, you addressed it. You
And
said,
I'm not gonna I almost feel as if
I was talking. Look. You're not going to do this thing where you don't let people interrupt you on your own.
Jesus
live.
fucking Christ, dude! What's going on?
What's going on is that I was in the middle of a sentence, and you do this thing on your live where you mute people if they overtalk you. So I'm going to do the same thing. If you're overtalking me, I'm going to mute you. You came up here, you clarified the whole thing about saying, actually, I don't even know if you fully clarified, but you said the whole thing about, oh, I didn't say it with an E, or I said it with an A, and then you dropped. But then you came into another comment section in another live and said, hey, your defense of Z is weird. I asked you, Dean, what do you mean by that? You didn't fucking respond. You didn't respond to my DM. You didn't respond in that live. Then you had all of your followers in here calling me a runner because I didn't want you up that direct second, even though I invited you to talk about it publicly on another time. This is just ridiculous.
Let me know when I could talk.
Yeah, you can have, when people take breaks in talking, that means it's typically conversational norm that you're allowed to talk now.
Phenomenal. So anyways, I mean, yeah, you just kind of misrepresented what happened. So first and foremost, the reason why I said that you were weird for defending Z was because after she made the false accusation multiple times, in which she obviously put preface on the hard R, as pointed out, as if it wasn't just simply the usage of the term, but in so derogatory, in a derogatory manner, against a black individual, which is why the preface is important to point out, right? Your reaction on live was to be oh, well, maybe Z didn't know, stop going so hard on Z, Z doesn't have to, bro, of course.
I never said don't.
Wait, I thought, I thought we were doing an interruption.
Because you're fucking lying. I'm interrupting.
Oh, okay, so it's okay for you to interrupt me, but then when I interrupt you, you whine about it and say, this is what I do to everybody else.
Yeah, because you're lying.
Okay, well, go ahead.
You're lying. I never said don't go hard on Z. I just said, hey, here's what happened. Look, Z made a mistake. She corrected herself. You corrected her. I corrected her. What? What is this?
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, I told you that I disagree. Now, if you want to like continue to rehash events from weeks ago, I mean, feel free. We could like debate what we think is like true of like what you had said in relation to what Z had said. I'm sure that it will be like super productive back and forth that will like really unfuck America. But now,
well, no, you leaving the tour was actually unfucking
now
America.
there's like another interruption. Can we do this
You leaving the
without,
tour was
like,
unfucking
Can
America.
we do
Do you
this
feel
without?
proud?
Can we
Are
do
you
this
proud?
without any interruptions?
You're like, yeah. Well, I just want to know, do you think you're unfucking America right now? Like, you think you?
Fucking America right now? No, I'm fucking stuffing pizza in my mouth, and I'd love to stuff more down it. Preferably, where I don't hear people like you. I'm not saying that I'm running from destiny when I'm just trying to eat dinner.
You are running from destiny. You went on live saying you wouldn't debate him.
Yeah, I said on live a while ago that I won't have a conversation with him. However, your comments that you made on the stream was in reference to the fact that I was in this stream, and you're acting as if I was running from him right now today, when in all reality, I'm just trying to eat dinner with my girlfriend.
You are if you continuously refuse to talk to somebody who is open to talking to you, you are you are running.
Okay.
You would say
Right,
that
right,
about
right.
anybody.
Yeah, Destiny, do you feel like I'm running from you right now?
Real.
I do feel like you're running. We had
Yeah,
disagreements
right.
on the Z stuff, and you ran from me.
I should wait. Ran or running, right? Because the preface of the question that I asked was like specifically in relation to this live and the fact that I don't feel as if I'm running from you because I'm trying to enjoy dinner with my girlfriend, and then people like Anne are sitting on the panel saying, "Oh, Dean, you better get up here. If you don't get up here, like it's honestly just a terrible look."
But actually, I never said anything like that. First of all, I never said anything like that. I commented a few times, and I said, "Hey, if Dean comes up, we'll drop the rest of the panel. We'll let you guys go at it and do whatever the fuck you want." But one, I was talking about how I think it's disgusting how you came into a comment live section and said my defense of Z was weird, wouldn't give a reason, but you wanted to say that publicly, and then you wanted to have your followers come after me. That's a problem. And yes, you are actively running from destiny, because if you're saying like, oh, I will not debate him in the future, you said that on live. I won't debate him in the future. I'm not going to debate him now. Like that is running. Yes.
So once again, I've literally already reframed this conversation in a way that would hopefully make sense to you insofar as what you said. What you said on this live was that I'm actively running from destiny because I was listening to the debates. Okay, yes, I was totally running from destiny while I was in my car going to pick up some pizza. You know
By refusing,
that is so
you read that
so
regardless of what you were doing. If you would have been sitting at home playing Fortnite on your fucking couch, you still would say, I will not debate destiny even though I'm not busy right now.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying that the reason that I was running wasn't because I was busy, but it's rather because if I wasn't busy, well, then I wouldn't have talked to him. And I'll just say the same thing that Destiny said a little bit ago. My grandma didn't have legs and had wheels instead. She would have been a bicycle. So, I mean, I don't know, but like I guess like the framing that I was like running from Destiny, like during this live, right? In the sense that, I wouldn't join the panel, etc., is incredibly disingenuous. I honestly, like, the reason why I came up here to say this is because I don't just hear this from, like, you as it relates to this panel in Destiny. I hear it from people all of the time. Sometimes I just like to scroll through TikTok lives to listen to debates, to see what's going on, to get different individuals' perspectives. And then for whatever reason, whoever's hosting the live, they automatically assume because Dean will not, like, give them their undivided attention and join the live right now and just, stop whatever he's doing and have a conversation, that therefore Dean is a runner, right? I guess that's the reason I came up here. Because that's exactly what you had said, right? The moment before I joined, after I didn't type in the comment section for over 10 minutes. And I was just seriously listening.
I didn't say anything about you before the comments started saying that you were here and that you should come
So you're saying that you were provoked by the comments?
Yes, I saw the comments and I said, hey, if Dean's in here, then we should have him up.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, you were not like, hey, if Dean's in here, we should have him up. You're like, no, I find it funny that Dean is
No, I didn't fucking say any of that. The thing that I said was funny is that
why are you lying
like
now?
Nick fucking Fuentes.
Why are we like trying to change the live
clip? You want to pull? Okay, let's just pull the live clip.
Yeah, for sure. Like the takeaway from what you'd said was not like, oh, Dean's in here, I wonder if he'll come up. No, the takeaway from what you said was, oh, like Dean debated Nick Fuentes, why won't he debate Destiny?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like preluding to the idea that Dean's running from Destiny, etc.
You'll debate a neo-Nazi,
and now my fucking pizza's getting cold.
Liberal. Like, come on. Yeah, you'll debate a neo-Nazi, but you won't debate a liberal. I found that weird.
Okay. Once again,
look, since you're here, look, you've spent how much time on this panel now, and you won't talk
more
to
time
this.
than I want to.
Wait, I'm curious. Can I ask a question? What happened at dinner that made me such a horrible person?
Well, I wouldn't say it was necessarily like the sit-down conversation that we had. I mean, for the most part of it, I actually enjoyed the conversation that we had. I would say it's like more that I learned about you from like in proximity to like your streams, maybe some of the things that had happened before in the streams, a better understanding of like your idea, like of your like what beliefs you hold to be the case, like what you think is like best for the country and for the world. I don't know if like horrible person is what I'd say. I mean, I just think that you have like definitely some takes that I think are like pretty deplorable.
What do you think is like? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
What's like my most deplorable take? We don't have to dive into everything. I'm just curious. What is my most deplorable take?
like off the top of my head, like a couple things that like you find to be the case that like
Or
I
just the
don't.
number one thing? Don't you know, just the number one, the most deplorable thing.
I don't know if I've been able to like rank one on the spot. I mean, I'd probably say like some comments, beliefs as it relates to Israel, and then maybe like the usage of like particular words.
What's like the most deplorable comment I made about Israel? Or, like the most deplorable opinion I have about Israel?
I'm sure, like if I were to like go like pull up, like
We have to.
various like
I'm not asking for like a clip. I'm
lists
not.
and
It's not
stuff
like
like that.
a make a syllogism of all the things. I'm just curious. Like, what is your impression? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and ask you to pull a quote from me. I'm genuinely. I'm just curious. What is the the
Yeah, like
horrible,
zero
deplorable
impression.
opinion?
I mean, I feel like I've kind of gotten the takeaway from your comments on your comments, etc., content, etc. That I'm pretty pro-Israel. You know, Israel's in the right, Palestine's in the wrong. We need to continue to be allies with Israel. You know, what the fuck? Like, what the hell is a conditional allyship? We should continue to send them money, guns, bombs, etc. Continue to kill the Palestinians, provoke Iran, create more global conflict. You know, drop more bombs and like violations of like the UN's principles and international law. ICJ sucks, etc. Like, I think that there's like kind of like a group of beliefs that I disagree with that I think would have like some negative implications, ethically speaking.
Okay.
But
Have you heard me say any of these things, or have you heard other people say I say these things?
probably a culmination of both. But if you're gonna ask me for like a specific scenario where like you said one of these things, I want to be able to give it to you.
No,
On
no,
the
I'm not.
spot.
I'm not here to pull quotes. That's like a. They do this here. Okay, I'm just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, and like so, I mean, like I don't know, like beliefs as it relates to Israel, and maybe like a couple other things like usage of terms. Like I haven't heard you say this specifically, but I've heard like friends say this about you. Like you know, I don't know, like you necessarily seem like much of a big deal with like the usage of slurs, and like maybe there's some like derogatory language that you don't really care too much about. There's like another one, I guess, and I feel like there's probably that's a big section where we disagree with, but I mean that just is as it relates to like the beliefs that you talk about on live. Maybe like there's like a couple things that you've done like in your personal life that like would like make you have a bad character. I'm sure there's like a long list of those. So it's like a culmination of like the beliefs in which you hold to be the case, whether it's like politically speaking or socially speaking, and then like a culmination of facts of your character and prior actions.
Okay. All right. Just curious.
But like not Nick Fuentes though. Not Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, no, I definitely say that Nick Fuentes is worse than Dustin. I mean, anybody that would disagree with that is kind of crazy.
Right. But like you're willing to debate Nick Fuentes, but not Dustin.
You know, in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have debated Nick Fuentes. Like, if I could do it all again, I would probably like save myself like the time and the energy and the effort. Dude, those gripers, they fucking suck. Let me tell you, they're definitely a very hostile fan base.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Very
Wow.
interesting.
Cool. Well,
I'm gonna go ahead and drop it. Then once again, I mean, the reason why I came up here, and I don't really feel like you're too responsive, and was just
Well,
the
you
idea
called me
was-
weird. You publicly called me
Ah,
weird while all of your followers were in the comments.
Yeah, I did
And
think
then
that
you
your comments
wouldn't
were
let me
weird.
address it.
I did think that
wait.
your
I'm
comments were
curious.
weird.
Wait. I'm curious. I'm curious. Just a quick, random, final question. Do you acknowledge that I've never said that we should call people like racial slurs, but there are other large leftist content creators, I won't say their names, but it rhymes with Asan, that say that it's okay to call people certain racial slurs like Gusano or Cracker?
I mean, maybe we could have a conversation about what a slur is. I don't know if like as it relates like against like white people in general, like cracker is gonna be a slur. Isn't like that specifically a slur against like Irish immigrants?
I mean, even if it was a slur against Irish immigrants, is that still not a slur? Are
I don't
Irish
know.
people not human?
Well, I mean, I'm like based upon like the historical connotation of this of the term. Like, I do think it was actually used as like a very derogatory term against Irish immigrants. But I mean, so like maybe like there's an arguable case there. But as it relates to like the usage in like broader society, I don't know if it like meet my criteria for what I consider to be a slur.
You can't,
But
there are no
I mean,
slurs
if it
against
makes any
white
sense,
people at
like I
all?
think
That's
like
not possible?
I think that like the broader takeaway from you know like what your question was as it relates to Hassan. I mean, I don't think that like Hassan's like a good dude either by any means. You know, I think that maybe that's misinterpreted about me a lot. is because like I'm not a fan of Destiny. This must mean that I'm a fan of Hassan. Now, like, I think I've had like some civil discourse with him, but there's definitely also like some facts about him that I disagree with as well. I mean, I made that pretty public, like reacting to his content nuke and whatnot. And as it relates to your question, saying is it like not possible to, like slur white people? Well, I mean, I'd say that like the term cracker probably doesn't meet my criteria for what a slur is, but I'm gonna go.
What about like pasty white boy or redneck or white trash or
I
hick?
mean, definitely
Are there
like
any slurs against white people or
racial slur. I mean, sure. We could probably consider there to be like some slurs under like a particular usage of the term. But like, I guess the reason why I'd be maybe against that idea is because when I think of like slur, I think it's something that's like and like enormously wrong, like invoking some like greater sense of oppression against an individual or group of individuals. And I mean, like you could probably assume that I would like hold to a different depiction of like what racism is compared to what you do. And maybe like a reason why I'd be like less willing to use like the term slur in relation to like derogatory terms against white individuals is because I don't think that they'd like fit like a particular depiction of like being like incredibly racist or anything and like the harm that it would generate. But I mean, like I could definitely
would it be
agree
okay to
that
use slurs
there's
against like
derogatory
Jewish people in the
language.
United States since they're generally wealthier, more educated, don't experience like massive societal oppression or anything? And in the U.S., there are like no slurs against Jewish people.
Well, I mean, I think that there definitely is slurs that exist against Jewish people. I mean, I could think of a couple off the top of my head.
Why would they be slurs if they have like majority power status in the U.S.? They're not currently being oppressed by any systems or laws or people.
Sure, I'll answer this question. However, after I answer this question, I'll probably go and eat my pizza before it gets cold. But I mean, I'll like give you the credit of answering a question before I head off. Like the reason I'd be like more willing to classify maybe like the K word as a slur against like Jewish individuals, but not like cracker as a slur against white individuals, is because like like the origins of the term was definitely like used as like an incredibly oppressive term to like further the dehumanization of like Jewish individuals, and like aided and abetted in like their systemic like slaughter. But I mean, as it relates to like the term cracker, like what's like the historical usage of the term as it related to some like greater system of oppression to like systemically slaughter white people?
Is systemic slaughter the baseline for when you consider a thing a slur or not?
I don't know if it's going to be necessary, but in this sense, it would be sufficient. And like, I just don't know
Should
if
I
like
be able to
any other
call,
like
what about like
sufficient categories
African
are going to be
immigrants? Should I be able to call
medicine against
should I be able to call African
the
immigrants the N-word as long as I don't use the N-word against like African Americans? Like if somebody goes from Nigeria or Kenya, like these aren't like African American slaves in the United States. Is it okay against them since they have a different background and that word wasn't used to like systematically oppress and slave those specific nationalities? Or
I did tell you that I was going to head off after the last question that you
okay,
asked me.
all right, that's fair. Okay,
However, I don't mind like answering one more.
yeah, go for
Um,
it. You can have the last word on it. Go for it. I want to ask you another one.
if that makes any sense. So I mean, yeah, as it like relates to usage of like the N word. So like, yes, this is going to like be sufficiently defined as a slur because of like the oppression of African Americans inside of America. However, like I'm sure that there's like various other reasons why we'd say that it is still considered a slur to use that against like African individuals that didn't experience the oppression of like an African American in American history. And I wouldn't mind like going through those reasons with you. In fact, like what I will say is it might even be useful to like have more critical dialogue on like why words are slurs or derogatory in general, and like why it's wrong to use these words, and why like large groups of people shouldn't use these words regardless of the context or intent. And the reason why I'd say that would be beneficial is because I do feel like for the most part, a lot of individuals' conceptions of individuals who like broadly would condemn the usage of derogatory language or slurs regardless of the context is that the people that do the condemning basically do so like a lack of like nuance or a lack of critical thought, and they more so just do so because of like mob mentality or groupthink. But I actually do think that there's pretty constructive argumentation and good reasons insofar as why we shouldn't do these things. So I mean, I think that like critical examination of it is important. I mean, like the questions that you're asking can be considered as critical examination, but I am going to go and eat my pizza now. But I just want to like make sure like you don't feel like that I'm actively running from you in this conversation, due to like the preface of me joining this live, saying that I was in the middle of dinner, more so looking to insofar some insight why she actively accused me of running while I'm eating dinner. And I did like have like a a shorter conversation with you related to questions that you had about the usage of derogatory language. I told you that I might take one more question, then you asked two, and I answered them both. So I just want to make sure, like, you're not like considering me a runner because I'm leaving to go eat pizza, right?
I don't know what the running norms are on this platform, so I'll delegate that to other people. And I'm just sitting here in the corner hanging out.
Okay.
Look, I think there can kind of be a mutual agreement here. Is like I'm fine with saying, okay, look, you finally talked to Destiny, you're no longer running or whatever. As long as you're gonna stop this thing about like calling my defensive Z weird and then not letting me respond to it, and then having your fan base like call me a runner for that. I think that's a little bit hypocritical.
I mean, what's hypocrisy?
Look, when you're saying, when you're holding one standard that you're also not going to apply to yourself.
So what's the standard I've applied to you that I don't apply to myself?
The standard was making a claim about me and not letting me address it, and then calling me a runner when I said, hey, we can't talk right this second, but we could talk in a future time.
Wait, even the two things that you just said contradicted themselves, because you said on one hand that I made a claim against you and I didn't let you address it, but on the second claim as it relates to me, like calling you a fucking runner, that's because you told me that you wanted to talk to me. I was like, okay, I'm going to let you address these things. Let's have a conversation. And then you backed out. So
I gave you, okay, hold on. That's not me backing out. I gave you the exact reason. Do you remember the reason that I told you that I couldn't talk to you right that very second? Just like you say, okay, well, I scroll in live and I see these fucking rando, like F-tier debaters on TikTok, and they always think that I'm running from them because I'm not coming up to debate them. Well, that's exactly what you did to me. Was I said, okay, like, look, we can talk about this now. I talked with the rest of the people on the panel. They said, hey, no, we don't want to talk to Dean right now. And, I had further discussion with them, and they said, actually, you know what? It's fine. Maybe have Dean on 10, 15 minutes later. And you said, no, I can't debate now.
Oh, okay. Well, given the additional context, you didn't run.
Okay, look, so that's fine. Look, I won't call you a runner. Don't call me a runner. And don't call me a weirdo publicly without, like, talking.
I definitely don't take back the weird comments, but I will take back the runner comment, given the additional context you just provided.
Wait, I gave you I gave you that context initially, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, Dean, I'm just
initially?
wondering, do you think it's weird that you're not trying to build electoral power when we have Trump in office right now?
I think it's weird that I'm not trying to build electoral power.
Wait, you don't think that that's weird?
No, I just repeated the question that you asked me.
Okay.
God.
I'm glad that you know.
Oh God, I got myself trapped in a conversation. Jesus, my pizza is officially cold, and I didn't even get around to the sim invites. No, I wouldn't say that's weird. No.
You don't think that that's weird? And you don't think that that's like a little bit of a privileged take?
So I wouldn't say that it's weird that I'm not like delegating a lot of my focus to like a very specific task to build electoral power. On one hand, I'd say like doing so would be a good thing. However, like I don't like divert my attention and resources into other things that I'm good at, like particularly like doing like open like forum political debate about why individuals support Trump, compared to diverting a lot of my attention and like building up like a foundation, like ground up into investment in like electoral power. Like I'd say just because like I have like particular interests that maybe other people like in like the political ecosystem don't have. That doesn't make me weird. Like I'm pretty sure that like a functioning political ecosystem on the left would like include like a diversity of interests and actions, such as like a group of people over here like focusing on building on electoral power, and then a group of people over here maybe like focusing on trying to convince people on the other side of the aisle that they're wrong, and then maybe like a third group of people focused on like educational content, and maybe like a fifth group of people focused on like building the left up by seeking
I
out.
get what you're saying, but I think it's weird to focus on taking down people that are trying to build electoral power when we're meant to all be on the same side. That's what I think is weird. I don't think it's weird that you have different interests. That's fine. But when you're in the comment section of every single live trying to tear us down, that's the part that I think is weird.
Wait, when you say like tear you down, you mean like critique you?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What do you mean by tear you down?
Well, in the way that, I mean, do we have to go over the entire events of the last month, or?
You're like talking about like all my critiques of you. Like no, I don't think that like that's weird. I mean, I think it's like totally fine for me to say that I worked with somebody. I really didn't enjoy working with them. Here's like a handful of things, X, Y, and Z, which they did when I was working with them, that I didn't enjoy, that I thought were wrong. And like when addressed, like accountability was not seen. So now I'm gonna like, divest my interests. And like I hope that they're able to have success, but at the same time, I really hope that they could like kind of realize the wrong decision they've made, and maybe like take accountability and just recognize that they can make better decisions in the future. Like I don't think it's like weird for me to like do any of those things.
Yeah, I think it's weird 2 months later that you're still like obsessed with being in the comment section and giving your opinion on something that you claim that you moved on from.
You think it's weird that 2 months later I'm obsessed with being in the comment section? What do you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because essentially, if we're all on the same side and we're all trying to build electoral power in whatever way that we're trying to do that, whether you're doing it through debates or there are people that are doing it through education, like you said, our entire goal collectively is to get Trump and MAGA out of office.
Okay. So if you're gonna call it weird for me to like be watching the live.
No, that's not what I said.
Not like focusing on like furthering building electoral power. I mean, like seemingly like, the Unfuck America tour has now become like marginally less efficient. These like Ann's takeaways saying, well, let's no longer focus on like Stephen debating Trump supporters or maybe what the Unfuck America tour is about, and let's rather focus on the fact that Dean Withers is in the comment section running from destiny.
You think us hosting like 3 lives a week is me focusing purely on you? Girl, I do not think about you. I want you to know that. I genuinely, unless you comment in a live, I don't think about you.
Anne couldn't have said it better myself. Z, go ahead and take what Anne said, but instead of it being Anne directed towards Dean, make it Dean directed towards Z.
I don't understand what you're saying. All I'm asking, Dean, is honestly...
That one was easy.
Honestly, Dean, though, I don't understand this like need to be in such opposition to what we're doing. Like, if you don't like it, that's fine. Just say, wait, who cares, right? Like, just move on.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, such strong opposition? Dude, I voiced my concerns. I made it very clear where I sit. I made it very clear where I think
you did. You made it very, very clear.
And ever since then, I mean, you haven't seen me, like, with, like, fucking, like, pitchforks and, like, a 7-hour live every day, like, saying, the Unfuck America tour needs to go. Like, no, I voiced my concerns. I gave my critiques. And, like, honestly, at this point, I've kind of disengaged. However, like, I haven't, like, thereby, like fallen from the positions that I've held. And I don't know, like, you just kind of sound butthurt.
Disengaged?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I guess it's very clarifying to me that you said that you're not really here to build electoral power. So that's actually answered a lot of what my questions were, because I thought that you were. So the fact that you're not, okay, that's fine.
Okay, now you're just equivocating. So what I specifically said is I'm not relegating like most of my focus into building like a ground up foundation dedicated to like holding electoral power via like hiring like canvassers to get out there and get individuals registered to vote. And then I went on to like give an explanation of like the political ecosphere and how like my interests more so align with like A, educational content, and B, debate content insofar as informing individuals on the left and trying to get individuals to go from the right to the left. And like your takeaway from that is that, I'm just not focused on electoral power at all. Like, what do you ultimately think that what I do amounts to? It amounts to more electoral power by convincing more people of progressivism, right? Now, what I was just simply stating was that the method in which I am using to build more electoral power on the left is not going to be identical to the method in which you're asking me if I think it's weird that I'm not doing, which is building up a ground up foundation to like get people to get out there and vote, maybe like a PAC.
That's not all of what building electoral power means, Dan.
Okay, well, that's not all of what building electoral power means, like referring to
it also just means building out an infrastructure of people that want to support each other, like what the right has done, right? So
okay, well, then I could say
that's a big part of what
I've been building out to build more electoral power on the left is convincing more people on the right that they should be on the left.
Yeah, it is. But also part of that is not tearing down other people while you do it. Like, that's what the right does so well. We've had this conversation in private before. You did agree with me when we did have this conversation.
I've agreed with you in private that we shouldn't tear down anybody on the left. I don't think so.
No, you agreed with, no, not that. You agreed with me that the right does that very well, that they help each other to build electorally throughout their right media infrastructure.
Oh, that the right does that well? Oh,
yes.
Fuck yeah, the right does that well.
And the left doesn't, right?
I would say that the right does it better than the left. However, I don't think that opens the door into essentially saying that the left just needs to, accept any action from any person at any point in time, regardless of what that action is. And I think that is a massive jump that you make that I don't support. And in fact, I'd even argue they don't truly make that jump. Because if you truly made that jump of saying that the left is so like poor in the sense of building out electoral power and pulling people together, and the right is so good at it, therefore the left just needs to concede any and all forms of like criticism, red lines, etc. Why are you criticizing me right now?
Well, there's a way to do that behind closed doors, which is what I'm sure they do on the right all the time.
Yeah.
Wait, Z, we're not behind closed doors right now. You should stop
No.
criticizing me so we don't hurt the electoral power of the left.
I'm not criticizing you.
Oh, you're not criticizing me?
I mean, we're pointing out. I mean, it's the criticism.
Yeah,
is like 5
Like,
months.
Dean, I don't have any followers, so for me, like you got up there with 3 million followers and say your opinion is not the same as what I like me saying my opinion.
Okay, so the more followers you have, the less you should criticize.
Well, also, Dean, I
individuals.
tried to have this conversation with you in private before you went on a live in front of 10,000 people saying that I should not have my job because I'm a racist. We
So
had
you
this
tried to have-
conversation in private. We
You
did.
tried to have this conversation with me in private, and then I went on the live. That sounds like a criticism to me.
That's the truth.
Oh, okay, so you're saying it's okay to criticize individuals insofar it's the truth. Well, I mean, that's what I'd say to you, Z.
I don't know what you're saying at this point. I think you're lost in the sauce.
That was incredibly easy to track. You just said that it's okay to criticize people. As
Dean,
long
I
as the
never
criticism
openly
is true.
Hold on, I never
That's what I
openly
said to you.
criticized
I
you
think it's
until you
completely
openly
I
criticized
think,
me.
hold on. I think it's completely dishonest because we went 5 months, thousands of videos from a bunch of like left-wing creators openly going, bonkers on us. Well, those of us didn't actually do much for criticizing you guys at all, or make counter videos, or do any of that stuff. Didn't leak a bunch of text, did nothing. So to sit here and be like, oh, you can't criticize me on this one live, I think it's dishonest in comparison to the past 5 months. We're not saying necessarily that we can't criticize you on this live. We're I guess highlighting the hypocrisy of, oh, you can't say that we can't criticize you on this live when the whole entire past 5 months has been extreme criticism.
Okay, so yeah, Mercedes, you're
I mean,
saying
half of
that
it
it's
is-
hypocritical for me to say that you guys can't criticize me on this live when I've been criticizing you guys before this live. Well, like Mercedes, that's kind of my point. Like the point of me saying that like Z can't criticize me, that's not going to be from my perspective. That's going to be from like y'all's perspective.
Yeah, but what
I think that you just implicitly agreed to this because you're saying that all the like criticism over the last 5 months has been terrible because we shouldn't be criticizing people on the left because we should be building more electoral power. But then here you are criticizing somebody on the left today, and seemingly you can't even deny my argument here because you called it hypocritical.
Yes,
Dude, you tried to take down an entire organization, and even after you did that, none of us made any negative videos about you.
Whoa, what, dude? Okay, I'm so sorry. I just saw something crazy in my text messages. I just got a text apparently saying that you Z were defending Ray Ray.
I was not defending Ray Ray. We can go over this whole thing.
No, I don't.
again.
I mean, listen.
And here we like, and this is what I mean, Dean, is like, you're always looking for something to come at me about. And I'm not sure why, because honestly, even after all of this, I still invite you to the tour. You are still more than welcome to come and debate. You are still more than welcome to join us, because ultimately what I want to do
swear to God, I was
is
just
work
reading off of
together to build electoral power. But I don't think that that is your purpose here.
Oh wait, apparently you compared Ray Ray to me debating Nick Fuentes. I don't. That's
What?
weird.
What?
I don't
First of
know.
all, I
This
think
is-
It
this
gets like text about
is
from
the info room. It's coming.
Yeah,
in
this
from
is the anonymous texter.
the anonymous texter. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's Parker, tell him I say hey, miss
No,
him.
it's
Hope
not,
he's
it's
doing
not.
well.
Listen. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna heat up my pizza and eat it. So the pizza's cold. I personally blame every single person on this panel.
What a tragedy.
Um,
Right, for you consensually coming up here.
Yeah, Trump is still in office, and we're still trying to defeat MAGA locally. But go heat up your pizza.
People
but
are
listen,
dying, Tim.
I'll leave
Yeah.
you guys with this. So as it relates to kind of what you just said, like I will say this, like if you guys go out, continue the tour, I hope it's successful. And when I say successful, what I mean is like, I hope you're able to go out there and to convince as many individuals as possible that they shouldn't support Donald Trump. I hope that you're able to convince as many individuals as possible to register and vote for Democrats in the midterms in the next general election. The fact of the matter is, this is something that you're doing, and I hope that you are as successful as possible as it relates to it. And I'd hope that anybody and everybody listening can agree. However, right, I feel like you failed to recognize that, like there's critiques that are true. There's like really good reasons why maybe like it shouldn't be you that's doing this, and where there's other people that might.
Dean,
be
what are the
doing
good
better,
reasons? Because
etc.
still to this day, you still have not explained what the good reasons are. Especially the day after that live, you literally told me that person that started it is just a chronic online agitator that does this to everybody, including yourself. So what exactly is such a big problem with me running the tour? I don't understand.
Okay, what you just said was like completely fucking false, by the way.
Dean, I have a text message. Don't make me show it.
No, you've already showed it. You've already posted it everywhere.
Next time,
It's
do
a
it over.
public-
I mean, you told me most of this over the phone. But
I don't even know why like you're fucking lying right now. So you have a
Dean,
text message.
I have-
then yes, you
I
are.
have the message.
Yeah, and what's the date of the message?
I can show you. If you would like. I can
It's like
actually
fucking,
just
it's like
text
fucking
it
like
to you if you want
3
to.
weeks. It's like fucking 3 weeks
told me,
before
Dean,
you went
you
up on
told
Geek's
me.
Live. Don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. It's like fucking 3 weeks before you went up on Geeks Live and did what you did, and then everything else transpired. And
Dean,
then
I never was
fucking-
on
okay,
any
okay,
other live. What are you talking about?
Great.
I was never on any other live, so I don't know.
Okay, just let me know when I can finish. Yes, you specifically were on the live where Tashika had joined, and then she said that she had no issue calling for my death, and then went on a fucking rant about how I'm like the worst person ever. That's the individual that I was calling like this chronically online agitator.
Agreed.
Because she literally wants to agitate individuals into thinking that it's okay for me to die.
Yes, agreed.
And you're trying to misrepresent that text that was sent 3 weeks before you went on Geeks Live as me calling like Geek and everybody else involved in like the original critique of the tour.
Dean, we didn't
as
even
chronically
meet.
online agitators.
Dean, we didn't even meet 3 weeks before the tour, so that's
So
not
what
true.
was it, like 2
I was
weeks?
only on one live. It was that live. Tashika was on that live, and you were referring to Tashika. So if you know that she's an online agitator, and you sent that to me warning me that she's an online agitator, why is that grounds for me not running the tour?
Wait, I'm confused. Wait. I'm confused of what you're saying. Are you saying that like I think that you shouldn't run the tour because of Tashika?
Yeah, you said that I shouldn't run the tour because of microaggressions, because of that live. But you also said in the same breath in that live that she's an online agitator.
Okay, wait. So first and foremost, there's about a billion other reasons why I don't think that you're a good fit leader.
Dean, what are you
That's
talking
just
about?
one.
I talked to you. Hold
Okay.
on. I talked to you on the tour like
I don't
three
like the- I
times,
don't
and
like the
every
reaction.
single time we had a conversation was all good times. We hugged before you left. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I did not
I'm so
fucking-
confused.
I did not hug you before I left. I don't even know why
Yes, you
lied about
did.
that.
You literally
you-
did.
you
I
were-
hugged
you were
both
lying
and
about
Parker.
this
I dropped
just
both
like-
of you guys off at the airport.
You were lying about this just like you lied about the prior thing that you said in relation
Dean,
to the text
what are
message
you
I sent
talk-
you.
what are you
referring to individuals.
talking
Like, I don't
about? I
know
talked
like
to
what
you
is like
3 or
driving
4
you to simply
times.
lie about these things.
How we lied about
Dean, I talked to you 3 or 4 times on the tour, and none of those times was ever a bad conversation.
Right. Now, okay. So now we're getting into something that is true. So I appreciate you for hopping off the hill that you were trying to die on, lying about me. I don't even know why you lied about
I
that.
literally
Anyways,
hugged you guys before you left, and everything was fine. There
I
was
don't-
no issue at all.
I have
In
no
fact, I was
clue.
in communication with you guys when we came back from the tour, and there was no issue at all.
Literally, like, no clue why you lie about that. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I was
as it
talking to
relates
Parker about him going to California to follow Charlie on the
as
next
it
stop.
relates as it relates to like good conversation on the tour. You know what? Honestly, man, I've already addressed that. I'm gonna go eat my pizza. You guys have a good rest of your night. I'll say this like one last time. I'll repeat it.
It's just so funny, Dean, because you have nothing to say. I was great working with you. I have no problem with you. I think you're
Okay.
good. I
All
think
right,
you're
yeah.
good at
Oh,
what you
yeah,
do.
Dean-
I have no problem with it.
Dean has nothing to say. Let's try to rage bait Dean into staying on this live that he said he wanted to leave 30 minutes ago to eat dinner, and now his fucking girlfriend
Dean, nobody's
voluntarily
rage
took
baiting.
the pizza, heated it up, and put it on a plate in front of him just because I want to eat dinner with my girlfriend.
Well,
Okay.
you have free will.
All right,
Come
fine.
on.
All right, fine. Okay, I have nothing to say. Okay, here's what I have to say. I'll go ahead and open my mouth and respond, so then it's not like, oh, Dean's a runner and whatnot.
Oh
So
my
you said
God.
that, on the tour, I was able to like speak to you professionally and have good conversation. Of course, I'm going to uphold some standard of professionalism on these events. This is already something that I've talked about online. This is already something that I've addressed on my live. And you're now acting as if I've no valid critiques of you or why you should be a leader of an organization like this. There's plenty valid critiques of you, apart from the ones of which are popular. The ones in which are less popular is the fact that you try to fucking send an NDA out to everybody on the tour, preventing them with
Dean,
working
you
with
and
other people on the tour
Parker-
3 years later. And then when I told everybody to not sign that NDA, you then called me and you blew up on me, screaming at me just because
I did
told
not
people
scream at
not
you,
to-
Dean. That is
Yes, you
horrible.
absolutely did. No,
Your
just because I
mind.
told people to not sign an NDA that would sign away their rights to work with other creators for 3 years. Like
That's
that's like
actually
a perfect
not-
other
First of
reason
all,
why this
Dean,
is.
you signed an NDA. You
Yeah.
signed the same NDA that we sent to everybody else.
Oh, that's not true. No.
Yeah, no, it's literally it's the exact.
Wait a second. Wait. Wait. Just real quick. That was a big claim. There's an NDA that was being signed that would restrict people from working with other people for 3 years.
Yeah, no, that's not true. Why would we do that?
That was
Like
the-
these
that
are
was the
all people
fourth
that are
section of the
independent
NDA.
contractors. They're creators. Like
Wait,
why?
make the NDA
like-
public then. Make it public.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
It was section 4 of the NDA. I mean, like that's like, come on, like anybody on the trip could make it public as well.
No, what it did say was that other creators couldn't talk badly about other creators on the tour. That's true.
There's particularly a section that prevented creators from working onto one another, and it wasn't even 3 years; it was 7.
No, that's just not.
What you're talking about would be unenforceable, probably in every state of the U.S., but definitely, at least in California, where a lot of people are, that would be, first of all, that's not even an NDA at that point. That's like an employment contract. Non-disparagement clauses, I think, are fairly common when it comes to signing things with companies. They usually don't want you disparaging them afterwards. But something that would restrict employment for 3 or 7 years after, that would be insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah, and also, it's
that's why I told people not to sign it, because
well,
it is
Dean,
insane.
also,
Well, it's insane such that, like, I can, without having seen any of this, and no offense to anybody else, I'm not saying my reputation of these people here, like knowing these people well, I just don't think anybody would send an NDA like that out. That's not even an NDA. That's like an employment clause. Even without knowing anybody here or vouching for them, there's no shot that there was an NDA sent out that would have restricted employment for 7 years. I don't believe that. There's no way.
And also, like, there were people that messaged us saying, "Hey, can you change this clause or that clause?" And we just changed it, and they signed it, and it was fine. Like, I don't even know how this started. So all this started from Anne saying, "Oh, Dean is running from Destiny." So then I come up here, I turn on my camera, I show you my pizza, and I was like, "No, I'm not running. I'm just eating my pizza." Then I was gonna drop after that. Next thing I know, the pizza's gone. All the bags are packed. Even though I just spent a decent.
I think you should just kill us on the spot for that. I think like we should just all on the spot for that.
And the next thing I know, I'm already on this live for like another fucking like 30, 40 minutes. Even though like I tried to set like 3 red lines saying I'll answer this one last question, then I'm gonna go.
So Dean, let's just make a truce and you can move on. You can enjoy your pizza. We all shake hands and we agree that we're here to stop Trump and we're good.
Wait, my position's not gonna shift. Like I already said, like I hope you guys are successful because you're already doing it. You know, go out there, get people registered. But like I mean I don't think that like you're like qualified to
not qualified. Dean, I've been working in electoral politics since 2010. What makes me not qualified?
Yeah, and Donald Trump's been working in real estate since the 70s. What the fuck?
But what makes me not qualified for the job?
Sure, I mean all the critiques, the long list of critiques that I have to you. If you'd like, I could send them in an email, but I'm gonna go eat my pizza now.
Oh, okay, enjoy. Wild.
You guys have a lot of meta conversations on here. Is that normal?
Not really.
I feel like when I listen to all you guys, not just maybe different platforms, but I feel like on TikTok, I feel like 80% of the talking I hear is like talking about the talking. I feel like there's a lot of meta conversations. Holy.
It's got a great.
The funniest thing is him calling you unqualified, but then like when the tour originally blew up, they also said they were going to continue the tour and find another organizer, and it's like 5 months later, and that just hasn't happened.
Yeah, I don't know. That was wild. Well, at least we've made a truce.
Good stuff. He wants us to be successful. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's the best we're gonna get out of Dean.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, listen, I have to sleep. Okay, not sleep, but I have work I have to do. It's late, and I'm already past my time, so I love you guys. I'll do the debate with that one person at a future time. Okay.
Yeah, you're
Thank you for having me.
Steven. Thank you.
Yeah. Have fun. Be careful. Bye.
Bye.